Hello everybody, I'm TychoCelchuuu and you're listening to a Men of War shoutcast. Looks like this is a 2v2. I recorded this game almost a month ago, more than a month ago. This shoutcast, though, I am doing right now, so I have no idea what happens. It's going to be just as exciting for me as it is for you, which I'm guessing is going to be extremely exciting. So what are we? We're Russian. Me and lollybo up against Panzerfaust and someone whose name I've already forgotten. I can't even remember if we're fighting Panzerfaust. We're fighting somebody. Oh, there's Panzerfaust down there. So yeah, it looks like I bought some machine gun infantry, finally getting out of my habit of buying riflemen right off the bat. Most people buy submachine gun infantry no matter who they are. I'm starting to think that maybe that's a good idea. Long-range riflemen will win, and riflemen also have sandbags, but other than that, submachine gunners are better in every way. They have smoke grenades and AT grenades, which riflemen don't get, and I believe they have one extra frag grenade, which riflemen don't get, and they just fire so fast that even though they'll miss a lot more than riflemen, they tend to win infantry engagements. But Russians, it's pretty much, you should always get submachine gunners, because they have the PPSH, and that has 71 bullets. It's just a lot better than any gun. Pretty much, you'll win pretty much every engagement. I did not win that engagement. I got mowed down, but I am flanking around and taking his stuff. Hooray, but that guy's probably going to die. Is he dead? He's alive. That means he can heal up, but you have to get him far, far away. The enemy will likely hunt down hurt infantry like that, and in fact, he just did get killed. So my attack on the left has epic failed. This is back when me and lollybo were extremely rusty, and frankly, I haven't played for a month. I was on winter break away from my computer, so I guess I'm extremely rusty again. Yeah! But yeah, we'll see how this works out. Like I said, we are playing very badly here right now, me and lollybo, although I would like to note that lollybo has seized the point. This is something of a pattern with us. Unless we play against people who really suck, I don't know what it is. I'm just really bad at the very first engagement. I tend to die. It might be because I always split my forces in two because I'm considerate enough to attack two fronts, whereas my allies never bother. But it might be because I suck, or maybe it's both, or neither. In any case, I have the middle, so that puts us 2-1, and we're winning right now. And I am deciding to take these houses, which face in on the point, and out on the point and stuff like that, so that I can have overwatch and good cover and everything. Houses are very nice cover, at least until they start blowing things up, or at least until the opponent starts blowing things up. If they have a dynamite that they grab from a dead vehicle or something, they can use it to detonate houses. This might have been in lollybo's tips and tricks video a while ago, but that's what dynamite is for, guys. Before people decided to knock out tank treads and destroy tanks with dynamite, which happens all the time in this game, but I suspect very little in real life. Dynamite was used for demolition, and that is what it's also very good for in this game. If there's a pesky house in your way, a wall in your way, just drop some dynamite right there. You can grab it off any vehicle, and heck, what else are you going to use it for? This guy makes a big mistake, drives his Puma directly at my men. I don't know what the heck my guy is doing in that bush, but he fucked up. That Puma would have easily been dead. But he noticed the bush moving. Maybe he even noticed my guy crawling into the open. I don't know why my guy didn't throw the grenade, but he died. I could have gone in direct control, tried to get the grenade off, but usually my men are smart enough to throw the grenade if I tell them to. Their range actually is slightly worse if you tell them to throw, because they're actually smart. They'll run in not at max range, which means if the guy backs up a tiny bit, they won't have to keep moving. But the downside is, of course, that they don't do it at max range. They waste some time. Sometimes they get themselves spotted. Direct control is if you want to finesse it. You just crawl forward and chuck the grenade. You do, of course, have to switch to the grenade in the inventory. You don't have to switch to the grenade if you're telling them to, because if you double right-click on an enemy vehicle, tell them to attack, maybe single right-click. I've never even tried. I always double right-click because I'm frantic, but or left click, depending on how your mouse is set up, I don't even know. But if you double click to attack on the enemy, or single click maybe, they will pull out. They'll be smart enough to pull out their anti-tank grenade, even if they're armed with a normal grenade. And in fact, they are smart enough, if they are out of anti-tank grenades, they will pull out a Molotov cocktail, because they know setting something on fire is almost as good as making it blow up. Sometimes even better in certain cases, like a candle. You don't want to blow up a candle, but you want to set it on fire. I'm not sure if your guys are smart enough to pull out a Molotov when you click on a candle. I've never tried it, and there are no candles in the game. But, you know, this is a pretty easily moddable game from what I know, so maybe someone will add in a candle, and we can test it out. Not sure what a candle would be for. You could light it to send messages to your allies, like Gondor had those beacons which they used to send the message to Rohan in Return of the King. I've seen Two Towers like 18 times or something, and I saw Fellowship of the Ring a couple times, but I've seen Return of the King all of once. I haven't seen the extended edition. I'm a nerd. I should really watch that. That would take a whole day if I want to watch all three of those back to back. I mean, come on. I don't have a whole day these days. Or this day. I guess it's specific days that I don't have a whole day. If we're putting multiple days together, I probably would have a whole day eventually. So now my people are getting killed in the middle. That Puma has repositioned, which is a very good idea. You want to keep all your vehicles moving. This faster, the longer they're locked down, the more likely your opponent is to show up one day. He apparently knows my man is in that building because he's shelling it. High explosive shells are what you want to use against the building if you want to bring it down or kill a bunch of people inside. But often, if you know exactly where the guy is, maybe he's firing at you. That's typically the only way you'll know exactly where someone is in a building, because it's even hard to pinpoint them if they're behind a window that you know. So I'm taking the left hooray, all the lollybos lost the right. But if they're in a building and you know exactly where they are, oof, that was an explosion from a grenade. If you know exactly where they are, you might want to use armor-piercing rounds, because high explosives going to hit the side of the building and explode. It might topple the building, that'll definitely get your guy, but it might not get your guy. But armor-piercing is going to go through the building, unless it's a really crappy round and the building is really well built, but you know, we're in Russia, so. But yeah, armor piercing is typically going to go through the wall, and anybody who is hit by an armor piercing round, they have had a very bad day, and that's the last bad day they're going to have. Not because they won an all-expense-paid vacation to Hawaii forever, but because they're dead. Dead forever. And you see my artillery, or not artillery really, it's a field gun, it's EIS-2, an anti-tank gun that I'm repositioning to attack the Puma. I've set it on return fire. That's because I don't want him to start shooting at infantry out of the open, just trying to shell him with high explosives. Although I do want him to shoot back at infantry if they start shooting at him. Although in that case I would probably tell the crew to abandon the gun and fight back with their pistols, their Tokarev TT-34 pistols. I know the make and model because I have played Red Orchestra, and I'm just assuming that's the pistol they're using in this game. Maybe they're using a different pistol, who knows. Red Orchestra is a good game. Can't wait for the next one to come out. Heroes of Stalingrad, they call it. It's going to have a single-player campaign, and I think that is going to suck. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that they're not going to do a good job with that. Oh, and we're trading grenades again. That tank probably, more people probably throw grenades over that tank than anything else in Men of War. I'm going to go ahead and guess, just because it's a place you end up fighting over when the game starts, and it's really good cover. It's kind of annoying to flank for the guy on the north. And kind of annoying to flank for the guy in the south. It's annoying for everyone to flank, it just happens to be positioned. It's obviously fantastic cover, no one's getting rid of the tank for a while. And it's just so easy to lob grenades over, so it becomes a grenade fest. It's good cover, and it's really well positioned, obviously. It's like right in the middle, or not right in the middle, but it's well within the capture zone, and capturing very important. And of course, my AT gun, like a chump, completely misses the Puma, and it is destroyed. Parts go flying everywhere. If this was real life, that would be an even bigger tragedy. Because the Germans suck. And Panzer saying woo, because he did get very lucky. He got lucky twice. My AT gun decided to attack a butterfly, which, I don't know, I guess Russians hate butterflies. That's got to be a thing with them. And even worse, the Puma destroyed it in one shot, which typically does not happen. Granted, the Puma's gun is a pretty big gun, but often what will happen is that the people manning the gun will just get blown away. They won't even die because they have a shield, but they'll get hurt. But they will pick themselves up, dust themselves off, get back to the gun, and fire back, assuming they haven't been killed. They usually get killed, but still the gun survives. My gun did not survive. My gun exploded in a cacophony of flame. And so that was exciting. This time I decided to screw the grenades, because the grenades tell you where they're coming from. If you throw a grenade, you can bet your opponent knows you're there, unless they're not paying attention, but who cares? Because, you know, there's a trail and it's a freaking grenade flying over.